The virus has now hit St. Joe's, and everybody is affected in different ways. Let's talk about Queen Sugar. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to KRSTV. This is your boy Kenny. Now remember, subscribe to my channel, and click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow all the information I have in the description box as well as the comment section. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. Now, before I get started with this review, let me send a special shout out to Metro Health DC. If you're looking for a clinic that offers medical, behavioral support groups, the whole totality of healthcare, reach out to Metro Health DC. The number is in the description box as well as the form to sign up if you're interested in becoming a client or engaging in our social groups. We have multiple programs that we offer at Metro Health DC. So if you're looking for a clinic that's gonna take care of your health, as far as physical, mental, and social, definitely sign up with Metro Health DC today. Also, let me send a shout out to the GMHC crew. If you're in the DMV area and would like to get tested for HIV, reach out to the GMHC crew for a home testing kit. You can have the kit mailed to you, or you can call and make a same-day appointment and come to the location to pick one up. And if you're interested in getting a set up for PrEP, which is HIV prevention, reach out to the GMHC crew for that as well. Also, if you're a fan of KRSTV and would like to become one of my Black Diamonds, subscribe to my Patreon today. Black Diamonds, because in darkness we still shine. For $5 a month, you get all of my YouTube content as well as videos that will be specifically for the Black Diamonds that will not appear on YouTube. So subscribe to my Patreon today. Also, check out my YouTube partner BK World 2, which is the Black Netflix. You get shows like The Oval as well as Love and Hip Hop. So after you watch this review, check out that link in my description box or in my comment section to check out BK World 2. Now, this is Queen Sugar Season 5, Episode 3, and the name of this episode is Late April 2020. Man, this was a really good episode, and in this episode, we are really seeing the aftermath of the virus hitting St. Joe and how it's affecting everybody. So, let me begin. First, I'm going to talk about Ralph Angel. He hears the reports on the radio. He pretty much hears about, that, farmers, and especially those who do sugar cane, that their harvest is in jeopardy. You see him calling Benny and calling Chris and telling them that he can use them next season. And Chris actually tested positive. Then we see Darla, comes in with groceries. They wipe everything down. Blue is actually, is doing virtual school, but the Wi-Fi has been acting up because, they live on the farm. And then like pretty much, Ralph Angel, shares his frustration with Darla that he had to let people go and that banks are not giving out loans, but he still has faith that the land will take care of them. But then Darla suggests that maybe he can ask Charley for a loan. He was dead set against that. He was like, I don't want to keep running to Charley for money all the time. He's like, we gonna make it, trust me. Um, and pretty much Darla shares that her job has closed, but she has a meeting online. Then we see her interacting with Blue, but you can tell she's hesitant to get on because she has to get online to meet with her job. But Blue was doing his schoolwork, but Ralph Angel was like, give him time. He's just one assignment. He can miss that. You need to, talk to your job and find out what's going on. And of course, the Wi-Fi's been acting up, so they've been having technical difficulties. When then we find out later on that Darla has been laid off. Um, there was an outbreak at her office. 7 people were infected. Um, and pretty much they get 2 weeks pay, but they're furloughed, which means they get employees benefits but no checks. So we next see that Ralph Angel tries to sell his tractor for $8,500, and the guy was trying to lowball him, but Ralph Angel wasn't having it. Eventually, they settled on $7,000. And he says that, look, I wasn't trying to lowball you. This was just all I had. So and you can see it hurt his heart to sell his tractor because, Ralph Angel is a man of the field. He wants to run his crop and wants to farm his sugar cane as well as the other things that he farms on the land. And now his passion he can't do at this time, due to the virus. So he finally realizes that he's not going to be able to bring harvest in this year. Darla says she's going to get a job. He says he's going to get one too. And then we see that Darla mentions that she knows that there's this nursing home that's hiring, but it's short of staff, but it's a risky situation, being an essential worker. And Ralph Angel's like, risk is all we have right now. So we see that he goes to the job interview. It's for a custodial position. And the woman who interviewed him was letting him know that, look, this is a caregiving business, and I know by trade you're a farmer. I don't want somebody just coming up in here just trying to make a quick buck. I want someone who's actually passionate about caring for the elderly and maintaining a healthy environment. And that Ralph Angel, see, you could tell he was listening to Charley when Charley was schooling Darla as to how to do an interview, because he literally turned into a boss and let her know that he has everything that she needs for that position. Talks about his father, that his father swept floors and cleaned toilets even though he was a farmer. And he's like, yeah, I'm a boss, but that lets you know that I know what a good employee is and what a good employee has to offer. And I was like blown away. I'm like, look at Ralph Angel being a king. I was so here for that. And she said, when can you start? So you can see he was listening to Charley, because that rubbed off on him. It was he took charge of that interview. So that was good to see. So then you see that he actually gets the job, and while he's on his way to work, he looks at his harvest with sadness, because he really would rather be harvesting his land versus having to work a 9-to-5. But, he realizes that due to current circumstances, he got to do what he got to do, as every man. So that was cool to see. So then I'm going to talk about next is Nova. Nova and Calvin are literally quarantined with each other. Trust me, they are in love bliss. They are literally serving everything at the breakfast table, y'all. But question is, will this love energy that they have right now, will it last? Because we know that they got different political views. They come from different cultures. Will they end up butting heads? But one thing I definitely liked is that they are working with Aunt Vi, and they're creating these care packages for the community. So they're just going everywhere, dropping them off at doorsteps. And Nova finally reaches Prosper's house. Prosper has been looking at nothing but the news on what's currently going on with the virus. And when Nova was trying to engage with him, he was very short with her, and she was like, do you want me to do this for you? Do you want me to do that? He's like, look, just leave it over there, all right? Just leave it and just go. And that's never been Prosper. So this whole situation is affecting Prosper in a very deep way, because he's seeing all the stuff that's going on through the news, and yet he's there all alone. And we see that eventually Nova sets up her spiritual altar, and she's praying, that clearing that the spirits clear Prosper's energy, because here it is. We thought we was going to be on lockdown for 2 weeks. It's actually been 6. So yeah, Vi's Pies did not open on April 1st. And then, she's saying that, I'm worried about Prosper, because Prosper has just been, he's there all alone, and he's just been watching nothing but the news. I'm pretty sure it's driving him, crazy. It's created, a lot of fear. Prosper's really going through it, and he's by himself. So we see Prosper again. Hollywood tries to call him, but he pretty much doesn't answer the call. But then finally, the second call, he decides to answer it, and it's Nova, and him and Nova actually talk. And she says that she's actually working on an article about the homeless, taking vacancy in some of these empty hotels or empty places that are available right now due to the virus. And that woke Prosper up. It gave Prosper something to do. So that was good to see. Next, I'm going to talk about Charley. Charley is on a Zoom conference with the council. And I have to say, I think his name is Jackson Beaufront. Jackson is an asshole. But shout out to the guy who plays him. He actually used to be on Ambitions, and they should not have canceled that show. I don't give a damn. Ambitions was a good show. We were robbed. Will Packer did his thing on that show. But the actor who played Titus is playing Jackson. Jackson is a straight up asshole. Like, during the conference, he starts talking about, they saying that, Charley is pretty much saying that, we're pretty much making sure that the residents of St. Joe follow the guidelines, which mean unless you're an essential worker, you should not be working. Oh, tell me why the hell this Jackson asshole decides to run his mouth saying like, it's funny you say that. Seems that your Aunt Vi is still running stuff down at the diner. And she's like, Aunt Vi is not running anything in the diner. He's like, well, I passed by and, something's going on over there. Charley knows what's actually going on. But she checked the shit out of Jackson, and I was so glad she did. She was like, first of all, Aunt Vi has done more for this community than you ever will. So won't you just shut up and do your job? And his old sensitive ass decides to leave the Zoom. I'm like, Jackson is a straight up bitch. Like, I just can't with his ass. So then we see that Micah is now back home due to the virus, and Aunt Vi pretty much warned Charley when she talked to her that good luck with that whole situation. She was like, well, what's so different? She said that, well, when Nova came home from college, her and Ernest did nothing but butt heads because there were 2 adults in the house, and it's kind of the same thing with Micah and Charley. But we see that Micah's talking to his boys or whatever, and pretty much Charley was like, well, there's 2 adults in this house, but we're going to be all good. Everything's going to be fine. And then he mentions that Kiki broke up with him, that she got a new boyfriend and that they're on different paths. And And then all of a sudden, later on, we see that Micah is talking to this new girl that he met at school, and this girl is like Charley's number one fan. She's like, "Oh my god," because he had her on speakerphone, and she heard Charley speak, and she's like, "Is that Charley? Oh my god, I love her so much. Ooh, I just love her style, and I love this, and I love that." She's like an obsessed fan, so it's kind of giving that look like is old girl just getting with you because she wants to get close to Charley, and that she's just using you to kind of get a foot in, because she was literally like worshiping the ground that Charley walks on. And Charley, Charley got that sharp eye, so she's like, what's up with this little bitch? And Micah right now, because he just broke up with Kiki, he's just throwing himself into another situation. Typical Micah. So we're gonna see how that plays out, but something's telling me that something's up with that girl. And why is it that she's so obsessed with Charley? Like, what's her end game? Next, I'm gonna actually talk about Hollywood and Vi. They're putting together food packages for the community, which was why Vi's pies looked like it was open. She's used, because due to the fact that she can't run her business, she had all this food that was gonna go bad. So instead of throwing it away, she put together food packages for the community, as a good person does. A lot of businesses were giving away food, as food packages for the community during the pandemic, and we're seeing them do the same thing. But Vi said something that was very, very powerful. She says that I think this whole situation is a test. It's a test to see what we're made of. Do we really believe in community, and do we really do right by each other? And I was like, that was powerful. Like, that's why I love this show, because there's so many gems that gets thrown out there, and you just got to be sharp and pick them up, because that was a gem. And then we see that Hollywood talks to his mom, Willie Mae, and pretty much Charley talks to Aunt Vi and lets her know that you got to make sure that you're following the guidelines. And she's like, I know what you're doing in here, but there's a health inspector that's going to businesses, and they're really going after people who are non-essential, that are actually active, and I don't want you to get caught up in that. And pretty much they have a conversation, and she was saying that, how long is this supposed to go down, Charley? I mean, people need people. That's exactly right. We're social beings. We're spiritual beings. We have to connect with each other. And, and she says, I thought this thing was supposed to have been 2 weeks, and it's been longer than that. And we find out later on from Nova, that they've been quarantined for 6 weeks. And she pretty much told her, oh yeah, I already mentioned that, about what she said about what she told Charley about her and Micah living together now, because now Micah's a grown man. Yeah, a grown man with little boy tendencies, but that's besides the point. Let's keep it moving. Then we see that Hollywood has a conversation with his mother. He is making a special dinner for Vi. And, his mother talks about she's going to be playing virtual cards with her girlfriends. And then we start noticing that she's coughing really bad. And, of course, this alarms Hollywood. But she's telling him, I'm fine, stop worrying about me or whatever. And we can just tell that, yeah, Hollywood's worried. And then we see him later on trying to call her. He can't get a hold of her. So he calls one of her friends to go to the house and check on her. And then later on, him and Vi have a conversation. He says that, yeah, one of my mother's friends went to go visit her. She's fine, but it's like he's worried because she keeps saying that she's fine, and I know she's not. Something's not right. And she tells him that, look, you need to go visit your mom. And he's like, well, what about the care packages? She's like, dude, your mom's more important. Go see about her. Go to Baton Rouge. And then, so that's pretty much what went down. So that's pretty much what I got for Queen Sugar, y'all. If I missed anything, get down in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts. But we're really now seeing the aftermath of how everyone's life has changed due to the virus. And we, as we all, because this was, I mean, even for us, we can relate to this because we went through some of the same things, and we kind of felt the same emotions. So shout out to Ava DuVernay for really capturing this, because this has really been like, it's just given us a more sharper focus as to how we've been dealing with things since the pandemic, and how we're literally living in a totally different world, and how even though we've been knocked down and people have lost jobs, people have lost their livelihood, people have lost businesses, we have, and more than anything, we've lost lives. you know Over 500,000 people we have lost due to the virus. And it's just so sad that so many of us have been affected by this virus in different ways. But we will prevail, because if we're now in a place where we can actually create a better world and create a better situation. But it takes us, being united and understanding who we are as a people. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, get down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. So until next time, everybody, take care.